We are going to start this week on our end of the semester final project. And this is going to be a cover song project that you will be able to choose what song that you want to record and create a cover version of it. And obviously we're somewhat limited in BandLab. We can't bring in every single possible instrument, but BandLab does give us the opportunity to make some pretty decent sounding projects. And so this is going to be really, the ball is going to be in your court for picking the right song and how you want to arrange that song, what instruments you want to use, what tempo you want to go at, really how you want to handle vocals, or if you want to not have vocals and have a lead instrument part instead of vocals. This is all going to be your decision. If you want to change up the style and the feel and the instrumentation of the song, this is what cover songs give you the flexibility to do. You're basically covering someone else's song, but you have the opportunity to kind of do it your own way. So I want you to be creative here. I want you to not just be a copycat artist that does everything exactly the same way that it's done on the original recording. All right, so I want to give you a couple guidelines here. Number one, I want you to choose a song that you know well. You need to be able to tell if things are not sounding right, or if you've made some mistakes. If you don't know the song that well, you may not be able to tell as easily if anything's going wrong. So number one, pick a song that you know really well. And number two, it should be a song that you love. It should be something that you want to invest this time in, because this is going to take 3 to 4 weeks to put this together. It's going to be a big project, and you're going to be kind of synthesizing all the skills that you've learned so far in this class all together to create this big project here. All right, so a song that you know well and a song that you love. And just for the purposes of this class, unless you are an extremely advanced musician, it should be something that is fairly easy. It doesn't use very many complex chords, mainly just sticks in one key the whole time, mainly just uses 4, maybe 5 chords for the entire song. But it should be something that's accessible, that's easy for you. If you're going to have to try to put 40 hours into this thing, it's just going to completely overwhelm you. So it should be something that's on the easier side. So I would recommend picking a slower song if you're deciding between a slow song and a fast song. Usually slower songs are a little bit easier to record because the tempo doesn't move quite as fast, and it allows your fingers, especially when you're trying to play things on a QWERTY keyboard, makes it very difficult to do. All right. And then you don't want to have any really tricky elements to it, any time signature changes, any really complex grooves or rhythmic patterns, or anything that would be really hard to replicate. You want it to be something that you feel like you could do a good job. I want this to be a successful experience for all of you. You need to be kind of feel good about how you're going to play this. And so it should be chords that you know how to play or can learn easily. It could be something that just is a little simpler than you might, I don't know, the tendency might be to pick your favorite song, and it might be super difficult. So I just want to kind of dissuade you from trying to pick something that's too difficult. All right, so like I said, slow songs with fewer chords. That's going to be my suggestion for you. And try to avoid flat or sharp keys, songs that are in the key of E flat or B flat, or F sharp. Try to find keys that are like C, G, D, A, using a lot of the chords that we've learned so far. So you're not having to learn anything all brand new. Okay, so how do we start? Once you kind of maybe narrow down some of the songs that you want to choose, the first thing is going to be to find the chord chart, okay, or a lead sheet. And you may not necessarily want to go on musicnotes.com and pay for the actual sheet music. Unless you read sheet music really well, then that's going to be a big benefit to you. But if you don't read sheet music that well, it's probably going to seem more like a foreign language to you than anything else. And it might be simpler for you to go on Ultimate Guitar, which is a website that allows you to see kind of the different songs that are on there, the different chords that are being used. So if you go on Google and just type in the name of the song and chords, oftentimes you're going to get a link to ultimateguitar.com, so you can look up there. And this is, again, mainly used for guitarists, but it can really help producers that are making cover versions as well. Okay, so if I click on this, you'll see that a lot of things show up here. We have all the different chords that are used up here and how they're played on guitar. Gives you a strumming pattern for those of you that play guitar. Very important information here that tells you the BPM, it tells you the tempo. So when you go into BandLab, you can just type that in and you know it's gonna be, I mean, assuming they've done it right, then you'll know that this is gonna be the BPM it should be recorded at. All right, most importantly, down here, we have the lyrics of the song and we have the chords of the song written above the lyric, usually that it falls under. All right, so I just picked Adele's Someone Like You because it's a song that probably most of you have heard before. So if you go to the chorus, you might recognize this. Never mind, I'll find someone like you. The nice thing about this song is that you can look at the chords here. On the chorus, G, D, E minor, C. G, D, E minor, C, G, D, E minor, C, G, D, E minor, C, G, D, E minor, C. 5 times it repeats the same chord progression. So you know that's going to be a little bit easier. Now the verses, even though it does use the B minor chords, that's the 5th chord that it uses in this song, it repeats G, B minor, E minor, C, G, B minor, E minor, C. And then we have D, E minor, C, D, E minor, C. So again, we're using the same groups of chords. It's a slow song, 68 beats per minute. Anything that's like 60 to 90 is considered on the slow end. Anything above 100, it starts to get a little quick. 120, 140 gets really fast. So now this is going to be my roadmap. All right, assuming you know the song pretty well, you'll be able to figure out, okay, does this sound right? Is this making sense? All right, in terms of instrumentation, this is going to be your call. It should use at least 5 or 6 instruments, if not more. You can use a combination of acoustic and electric instruments. You can use synth instruments like we touched on last week, pads, you know, leads, basses even, if it calls for that. You can use the regular acoustic or electric bass, I'm sorry, to do your bass part. You have a drum set, could be electric or acoustic, your call. And then additional instruments outside of piano and guitar. You might want to use some orchestral instruments, some strings, pretty common. You know, combining piano, guitar, bass, drums with strings and a pad is pretty common. So go ahead and start there and start to build what you want your instrumentation to be. And then get into BandLab and start playing around. All right, so we know that I'll just kind of experiment with what I would do with the chorus here, even though you wouldn't, we're gonna do it the entire song. We're not gonna just do one section of the song. Now you're actually, this is why I'm giving you 3 to 4 weeks on this. You're gonna make the entire song from start to finish. Now it doesn't need to be the exact same structure that the original fell under. You'll know that a lot of acoustic covers, they kind of shorten the song or decide to do only 1 chorus here instead of 2 choruses. Maybe they cut out the bridge. Whatever you decide to do, I'm okay with. It should just be at least 2 minutes long from start to finish, at least. Okay, so that's kind of your ballpark in terms of time length. All right, so you want to come up with your structure, how you want to do this in advance, so you don't get into the middle of your project and realize that you've forgotten a section or anything like that. So then you go into BandLab and then start building. Remember that chord progression was G, D, E minor, C. So we were at our BPM was 66, I believe it was. I'm gonna start there and then start to make our piano part. Once I get that down once, then I can loop that 5 times and that's the chorus. So let's do that now. And like an idiot, like I always do, metronome is not on. Try again. All right, so I've got my, let's see, 2, 3, 4, 5. All right, so there's my chorus. Of course, it wouldn't happen at the beginning of the song. I would be moving this over. I would probably just record it in sequential order. Record your intro first, and then your first verse, and then the chorus, second verse, whatever the structure of the song is, that's what I would do. All right, add in your bass. We'll stick with our 62P bass here, Fender. All right, let's get this going. All right, and we're going to repeat this just for sake of time. Let's add an arpeggiated guitar here. Guitar. Well, let's just add an acoustic just to make it more of an acoustic vibe. How about that? All right. Octave 3. All right, so I'm gonna just, create kind of my own little, that's what I did. And I'm gonna do that for each one of the chords. Right. And now I need my drums. Oops, I'm gonna use the actual drum machine here. And we'll choose the Rock Kit. All right. Maybe add a couple little things here. And extend this out. All right, and let's add a vocal track now. Check 1, 2, check 1, 2. All right, so that's in there. Obviously, you're not going to want to record it without using headphones. I'm just kind of doing the demo here. So you've got that all in there now. Of course, you would do the whole thing. And then you have your whole chorus done. And then you, of course, again, start with your intro, verse, chorus, maybe another verse, maybe another chorus, maybe a bridge, maybe another chorus after that, and then some kind of outro, which is the end. And then you'd have your cover done. All right, of course I make it a little faster, and then it'll probably take a lot of work to put this together, but that's why, again, giving you all the time to do this. You're gonna have 4 weeks to put this together, actually 5 weeks with one kind of empty week in the middle where there's a separate project. But yeah, again, number one, pick the right song. You gotta pick the right song. If you don't, then you're going to get in too deep, and then you're going to realize this is a lot harder than I had thought. Another song that I was thinking of was Yellow by Coldplay. If you're looking for simple songs, Coldplay songs have, there's several Coldplay songs that are just great songs that are easier to record. So you might want to start there. Scientist is a good one that might work. Yellow works. Even Fix You. It's in a weird key. You might want to change the key of that. You might be able to find like an easier key version. That's the thing, that if you find a song and you don't like the key, they do have transposing features on here that might make things easier for you. So let's say you wanted to do this song in the key of C. It's in the key of G right now. But if you're seeing a bunch of chords you don't know, you can go down to this transpose button and start clicking around until you see chords that you know. Okay, so now I've got it transposed 5 half steps up, and you can see it's in C, G, A minor, and F now. All right, so and of course your instructor will be able to help you, you know, maybe find the right song or find the right chords that'll be easy enough for you to make into a great final project. Again, we want you to be successful. We want you to pick something that is manageable, that you can do. Don't try to impress us with the hardest song, because obviously BandLab is limited as far as the controls, and you don't have keyboards, all of you, you know, so it's gonna be tough. So anyway, I'd encourage you to just pick the right song and work and make it as cool as you can make it. Again, I'd probably add strings to this and a pad and layer those all in, and then you got to actually mix it, picking, you know, the volume, panning, and then adding some effects. Now, you know, we're going to be talking about effects in the content of the class over the next few weeks. So if you want to add effects into this, you know, certainly you can go into your acoustic guitar, for instance, click on the track, and then click on this tab down here for effects. If you want to add some distortion, if you want to add some delay, reverb, whatever you want. Time to be creative. I definitely want you to use some EQ, since you've learned about that already. And yeah, throw in some other effects on there as well. But this is really up to you. I don't want to hinder you too much, and I want you to be creative in how you come up with this project and the things that you do. So talk to your instructors, get some feedback. We're going to be kind of spacing this out, again, over 4 weeks. So it'll be little checkpoints along the way, but just do as good of a job and do justice to the song as best you can, realizing that, you know, it's not going to be production quality right now, because we're not in a studio. It's not going to sound like you know, something you'd hear on Spotify, but that's okay. We're just getting our feet wet doing this stuff. All right, and good luck, and talk to your instructors if you need any help. All right, thank you very much.